What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob Hardison, and today we're going to show you what's in my OGIO bag. So let's set the scene here. It's the night before the big day. You're going to your first ever race tomorrow. You've got your car clean in front of you, tools organized, tires glued, mounted, ready to go. But then it hits you. I wonder what I should bring to my first ever race day event. If only there was some dashingly handsome fellow online to show me exactly what I should bring so I'm very well prepared. Well, look no further. That dashingly handsome fellow is here, and I am prepared to show you exactly what you're going to want to bring to your first race day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you what's in my OGIO bag. To start off here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a general overview of kind of how I have everything inside the bag itself, how I've got it organized. That way you have a reference of kind of how to get everything stacked and packed in there for the most efficient pack job. And then from there, we're just going to go ahead and pull things out one by one, and I'll explain why I have it in my bag or why it's useful, what it is, some sort of information on it. So to start things out here, first thing we're going to have is, of course, our lovely car stand. Car stand is going to be important to, of course, sit your car on it. Or if you have to do any shock rebuilding, this is going to be a great tool to have in your bag. So I'll set that off to the side here. We'll make a pile kind of off. Next thing we're going to grab out is going to be the lovely tire gluing bag. So this is going to be a J Concepts money bag. And then inside of here, I like to have my tire punch. I like to have all of my different tire bands, all of my tire gluing accessories, and of course a lovely bottle of glue. That way you are all prepped to go if you have any tire failures, or if you need to glue up some stuff at the track, you have all of the tools that you need. So we'll pack this back away here. And of course we will set this off to the side as our next important piece. Another important thing to have, and the next thing I'm going to have in the very front of my bag, is going to be a power cord with a power strip. That way, if you go to a track that maybe you don't get to sit up right next near a building, you're on a generator, or you just need to run a wire to a building and you're kind of far away, this makes it to where you have plenty of outlets for all of your bits and pieces, and it gives you some distance. That way you can go and set up wherever it is you like. Next thing I'll have in here, getting into the tool end of things, is a lovely pair of calipers. This is very important at the track, whether it is measuring sway bars, your droop, measuring brake linkages, measuring how far your throttle opens. These guys are very, very useful in determining information about your car and for setting up your car. Next thing we'll go ahead and grab out of the box is going to be my lovely Dremel. Everybody hates it, but strip screws are inevitable, and it's always good to have a nice cutting disc and a Dremel on hand. Or if you are cutting out wings, for example, you can use the standing disc on here to get those nice and smooth, cutting out a body. Or if you need to polish up a pipe, this guy is a very, very useful tool to have on hand. And again, we'll set that to the side. Hopefully I don't knock anything over here. That would be bad. My next bin that I'm going to grab out of here is going to be my main toolbox. So I will use a Plano box. In the top side here, I'm going to have some miscellaneous pills, maybe a little bit of grease, and then I'll have any of the extra dividers that I need to further organize my bins if needed. I've got some fuel line in here. I've got some plugs for if I take my nitro engine out, don't want dust getting in there. And then of course, flipping to the main portion of the box, we are going to have all of my tools organized. They might not look organized, but I do have them all set. I've got some scissors in the back with some nice Mallory Performance custom droop blocks, 36 millimeters. If you guys want any of these, definitely make sure to hit up Javon Mallory at Mallory Performance. I've got all of my different drivers and bits. I'm gonna have my brush for tire sauce, tire spring tool, flathead screwdriver, pliers. I'm gonna have all my Sharpies and grease, my little mini nut drivers. And then over here, I'll have stuff like ride height gauge, pliers, another pair of those, another super cool Mallory Performance part here, my 17 mil wheel wrench that is custom engraved for my name. I'm gonna have some piston drill kit stuff, flywheel pullers, body reamers, Loctite, general stuff that is gonna be useful at the track, and of course, some spare bearings. So what we'll go ahead and do is we will now close this guy back up. I'm gonna set this to the other side. I'm getting a little tight here. My next bin that I'm going to have is going to be my bin that's going to have some shock parts in it, in the sense of different springs. I've got some driveline stuff in here for my buggies, some universals, some center drive shafts, shock collars, arm inserts, both the plates and the metal hinge pin inserts, spacers, stuff like that. And then opening up to the main portion of the bin here, I'm gonna have all of my different arms for buggy and truggy. I've got some plastic hubs and spindle carriers if I need them, diff cases, wing mounts, some fuel tank stuff, diff case, stuff that is going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more bulky, needs some more room in its own box. Close that up. And then pulling out my final Plano box. This one's gonna be packed a little tighter here. On the top side, I have some more pill inserts. I've got all my different pistons, gaskets, hexes, screws, different mounts, out drives, lots of shock bits in here. I've got some brake linkage stuff, kind of the miscellaneous smaller bits here on the very top. And then opening up to the inside here very carefully. Don't want to spill all that out. I'm going to have air filter boots, ring and pinions, shock rod ends, my different plates for whether I want an A plate or a B plate Ackerman, spindles, spindle carriers, tons of sway bars, some different shock shafts in here, rod ends, miscellaneous plastics, stuff like radio boxes, chassis, braces. I've got a couple tools here in the very front, and then just some miscellaneous plates and stuff for tuning options in this little pocket here. And that is going to cover my 3 Plano boxes that I have with me pretty much all the time. Transitioning now into some more bag type stuff. I'm going to have first, let's see, this is going to be my diff oil bag. So in here I've got all my different diff oils from Ultimate Racing, anything that I may need to tune on my car, whether it be a cold day or a warm day. I like to make sure that I'm prepared for all different track types and surfaces. So this is definitely super duper useful. And then to go along with that diff oil bag, I will also have my shock oil bag, of which again is going to be full of some Ultimate oils here. Anything down from 350 all the way to 800 CST. Again, so I'm prepared for any temperatures, any track surfaces, so I'm not caught off guard. So that is going to take care of our oil stuff. Another very important piece to have here is going to be my J-Concepts charger bag. Inside here, you'll never guess what's inside if I can not mess up the opening zipper. Inside here, I'm going to have, of course, my charger, my different cables for actually plugging into the wall, and then charging my batteries and such. And then in the very front here, I'm gonna have a couple batteries just ready to go for my electric stuff, and that is gonna cover my entire charger bag. Close this guy back up here, set him on top of my oil bags. And the final thing that I've got in here is my trusty drill. Inside this box, I'm going to have, of course, my drill, a spare battery, a battery actually inside the main drill itself, and the charger. That way I can do all of my wrenching super duper efficiently at the track. I don't have to do hand driver stuff. I can get stuff in and out super duper fast. And with the drill coming out, that is going to pretty much cover everything that I've got inside of my OGIO bag. In the very top pocket, I've just got a couple of miscellaneous bits and pieces. Something like for nitro racing, I've got a nice big pair of channel locks. That way I can grab my flywheel, not have to worry about that slipping at all, get that nice and tight. But other than that, I don't have anything tucked away in the big pocket on the inside top of the bag. I think the only thing that I don't have in this bag usually is I will usually put my pit board in my tire OGIO. I do that because, well, tires are generally a little softer than all of these boxes, and I'd rather my pit board not get damaged. Same thing with my pit mat. That obviously was in the bag because, well, it's on the table. And I'll usually either put that with my pit board, or I'll go ahead, wrap it around the pit board, and use that as protection. And that should cover everything that's in my OGIO bag, all of the important bits and pieces that you should definitely consider bringing to the track. This is stuff that I bring to every single event that I go to. That way I am well prepared. So if you guys have any questions about anything, about my packing bits, maybe specific tools and such, definitely leave those down in the comment section below. And we will see you guys in an all new video later this week.